Welcome to AI Agentic Bros, and today we are going to be covering 7 essential tips when it comes to using Google AI Studios. Now, Google AI Studios is a live and free playground for the Gemini models. It allows you to use Gemini 2 Pro and Flash and experiment with it with its different features. You can go ahead and stream your screen or webcam to the AI and have a live conversation. You have access to VO2, Google's video AI generation tool. And what's really unique about it is that you can play around with a bunch of different settings and different tools that you can use with the model. So let's hop right in. All right, so this is the screen that pops up when you first kind of go into Google AI Studios. This is just a basic prompt. Here on the right, you can see the run settings. And this is where you can kind of select the model that you want to use. So Gemini 2.5, Gemini 2.0, Gemini 1.5, and Gamma. And then you can go Gemini 2.5 Pro, Gemini 2.5 Flash, right? And then you can also go here and compare the two models if you kind of want to compare the outputs, right? And over here on the right, we have a bunch of different tools you can use. Structured output, which is more for code execution. So one main focus for Google AI Studios is one app building, and then a lot of stuff that you can kind of output the code properly. You can kind of do different stuff with the function calling. Okay, so tip one, we'll just kind of go over how to use the chat, right? All right, so for example, I went ahead and used Gemini 2.5 Pro. I asked it to help me optimize my Google ad campaign. I'm running for a local car wrap and paint correction shop. I also provided the necessary screenshots, which is a big thing. It allows you to kind of put different images so you can kind of have multimodal outputs, right? And what better model to look over your Google ads than a model created by Google itself? Um, all right, so it kind of asked me some preliminary questions because I was like, look, what kind of screenshots do you need to properly kind of gauge where this campaign is at, right? So it went ahead and asked me some preliminary questions, and then I gave it the necessary screenshots. Then it went ahead and gave me my output, right? So initial review, it kind of broke it down to key observations from screenshots and the landing page I provided. Then it went ahead and told me my immediate and critical steps for optimization, further recommendations, and then it gave me a summary at the end, right? So this kind of works like a basic LLM. One thing that a lot of people do get confused with, this is not where you access the Gemini model. You can go ahead and type in Gemini in your Google search bar, and you'll kind of get access to the actual Gemini page. This is as I mentioned before, a live playground, so you can kind of play around with the settings, right? So let's move on to tip two. All right, so tip two is something very unique to Google AI Studios. And what you can basically do is live stream your screen or your webcam and kind of have a full conversation with the AI. It can kind of see what's going on your screen. You can either have a audio conversation with it, or you can kind of text back with it back and forth. So let's go ahead and share our screen and see what we can do with it. Let's go ahead and share aiagenticbros.com, the landing page for our free AI starter kit. So if you're a beginner with AI, you can go ahead and check us out there. We kind of cover the basics with AI, prompt engineering, and then building simple custom GPTs, as well as using different tools to help market local businesses. So let's go ahead and share our screen with it. Agentic Bros. And let's have a hey Google, can you go ahead and look over our landing page for our free AI starter course and give me any recommendations to help optimize the user experience? Okay, sorry about that. Could you actually write that out for me? Cool, thank you. And there you go. That was a conversation. Obviously, it was a very simple conversation with Google's AI, but it kind of went over our course page, and then it had a very kind of simple output. I didn't really get specific with it, but if you kind of look over here on the right hand side, choose the output format, which is obviously audio and text. You can choose the voice that you want to talk back to you, right? we were using the bright voice. You can do upbeat, informative, firm, so kind of whatever you prefer there. And then it has some of the different features that chat also had. So it would be function calling, and then grounding with Google search, which is another tip we are going to go over later in the video. So the third tip we're going to cover is how to use VO2. So we'll go ahead and come to the Generate Media tab in Google AI Studios, and you have access to a few different tools here. Image Gen, Lyria Real Time for music, Gemini speech generation for different audio clips. And what we're going to focus on today is VO. So VO3, the model just came out, but you can actually use VO2 with Google AI Studios for free. Let's go ahead and we have a special VO3 VO2 prompting guide that will be provided if you go ahead and sign up for the AI starter course. The link is in the description, or visit aigenticbros.com. You can then have access to that PDF for AI video generation, right? So let's go ahead. We gave O3 the prompting guide and asked it to generate a VO2 prompt for a high energy action sequence. The scene should capture a moment of intense physical activity with dynamic camera movement, rapid pacing, and strong visual impact. Consider incorporating elements like motion blur, dramatic lighting contrast, and powerful composition. So look, okay, it has a below is a ready to copy VO2 prompt. So this is an example of a full AI workflow. We're not just using one tool or one LLM to get the job done. You can kind of plug and play with different models. So let's see what it came up with. Let's go ahead and copy. We'll paste it here in the VO1. Okay. A tight, low-angle tracking shot races just behind an elite parkour runner sprinting down a rain-slick neon alley at night. The camera floats 1 meter above the ground, bobbing with each stride as the athlete vaults a dumpster, wall runs, then power slides beneath a chain link fence in one fluid sequence. Right, so as you can tell, it's getting very detailed. Again, following the guide that's available with our AI starter kit. Okay, let's go ahead and scroll down. Okay, style, hyper real cinematic, 4K, goes with the aspect ratio as well. High contrast grade with saturated neon palette. Negative prompt, cartoon style. Okay, so it gives it a negative prompt at well, what we don't want, right? So let's go ahead and run this in VO2 and see what it generates. While it generates, we could see you could set the video duration, the frame rate, the resolution. We probably should include the negative prompt in here. And then number of results. We just want one video and then the model, right? So let's see what happened with it. Okay, so this is a great thing. We're going to keep this in the video for sure. One thing when it comes to video generation, you can't really use certain verbs. Like I've tried to use kidnap or kill. It was like a samurai scene I was trying to set. And I think where the issue might be city lights exploding in the background. Let's switch exploding to shining and see how that runs. Okay, cool. So we have our generated video. Let's go ahead and see what it came up with. Okay, again, this is VO2, so it's not going to be as much, or it's not going to be as complicated as VO3. But it kind of sets the scene well, and then we have the parkour here, right? Kind of doing the different flips, the corkscrews. We kind of have the camera following them. Um, Cool. All right, so that's kind of an example of how to use a prompt guide. Go ahead and prompt VO2 again, which is not going to be as robust as VO3, but again, we have it for free, right? So you can create content. So here's another example of a prompt that you can use for maybe product videos or creatives for a Google or Facebook ad. Basically, we used the PDF guide again and had O3 come up with a VO2 prompt, and we plugged it into Google AI Studios here. Just kind of showcasing again the use of different models and kind of building off of each other. So let's see what kind of product video it comes up with. Okay, cool. So let's see what it came up with for a simple skincare product video. Again, obviously with VO2 we don't have any audio, but here we have some simple product designs. Just a simple 8-second video. Again, just showcasing what you can do with this tool. Okay, so let's move on to tips 4, 5, and 6. These all reside in the chat mode, and we kind of briefly covered them when we went over the run settings. we'll go ahead and look at the different tools that we have. One that I really like to use is grounding with Google search. This basically gives it the ability to do kind of the deep research that maybe you could do with O3 or Perplexity offers. It gives the model access to using the web as a resource. And then another thing you could do is play around with the temperature. So basically, that allows it kind of plays around with the creativity that you want to allow the model to use. So the higher the temperature, kind of the more outlandish the outputs can be. The lower the temperature, kind of more straightforward those outputs will be. So that's tips 4 and 5. Now, tip 6 is very important. We go ahead and look at system instructions. So, one very unique thing about Google AI Studios is that you can kind of set instructions for your entire chat without having to reiterate it constantly. You can kind of give it a tone. This is sort of, in a way, the same way you would kind of set instructions or have a system message for an AI agent. Okay, so this is an example of system instructions that we use for the last scenario. You are a helpful Google Ads expert who audits accounts and helps optimize keywords, search terms, ad copy, and other aspects of campaigns. So now, when you go ahead and kind of ask your questions or kind of put your screenshots in for your Google account, the chat will kind of have these instructions preloaded. It'll kind of run everything through them. That's what a system message is. It's basically what the chat or the model in this instance is going to be trained on. So if you want very specific outputs or if you want it to have a certain expertise, this is something that you can use to make your job a lot easier when you want specific types of outputs. So for tip 7, if you're using tools like NAN or Make.com, and you need access to an easy API key, this is where you get it for the Gemini models. You go ahead to Google AI Studios, and then you go ahead and click Get API Key. It kind of gives you a quick test that you can run. And the API key for Gemini 2.5 Pro and Flash are free to use. I'm actually using it on the back end for one of our apps we are building right now, just to kind of keep the cost down initially when we're testing, and it holds up very well. I mean, Gemini 2.5 is a great model. So you go ahead, click Create API Key. You have to select a project from your existing cloud projects, and then it'll go ahead and create an API key. Thank you so much for tuning into this video. I will mention again, if you are a beginner with AI, you want to learn how to start making money with AI, but you don't know where to start, sign up for our AI Starter Kit. The link is in the description, or visit aigenticbros.com. We go over the basics of AI, how it works, kind of a little behind the curtains. We dive into prompt engineering, and then we kind of show you how to use different tools, kind of how we did with O3, kind of generating a prompt based off of a guide, and then kind of moving that to VO2 and having a robust prompt for that instead of coming up with that on your own. It's completely free, about 12 to 13 PDFs that we will also provide along with the course videos. Go ahead, sign up for that. Like, comment, subscribe. We'll be coming out with a lot more videos like this. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope to see you soon again. Thank you.